Hi guys, welcome back to Liming with Courtney. Today I'd like to talk to you about the 2023 Jamaica Carnival. It's going to be held on April 16, that's Sunday, April 16. So I have a few friends who are coming from overseas. They're Jamaicans, but they live abroad. And it's their first carnival in Jamaica. So I said, all right, let me do this video just to advise other persons who are coming to Jamaica to jump in carnival for the first time. Like, what are some of the tips that they should take into consideration? So the first time I jumped in carnival, I was 4 years old. Yeah, I can't believe it. I did kiddies carnival for a number of years, and then I got too tall and I told my mother that I didn't want to continue because although I was still a child, I was much taller than the other revelers. So I took a break from carnival during my teenage years. And then when I became an adult, my interest peaked again and I participated in adult carnival. I love carnival, and I would say the only time I don't participate in carnival it's when my friends don't have an interest, because I like having at least one friend on the road with me. So this year I have several friends who will be participating in carnival, so I'm quite excited. It's a nice, it's a girls group, so I expect that the day is going to be awesome. What I would say is that if you're going to be doing carnival, you should consider that it's going to be an all-day event. So pace yourself. If it's your first carnival, especially in Jamaica, you have to remember or weather conditions might not be the same as what you're used to in your home country. So you need to pace yourself. On carnival day, you usually get up at about 6-7 o'clock. Some might get up a little later because they went to Juve the night before. But anyway, you get up, you feel very excited because it's carnival day. You look at your costume, you check out everything on your body, wax where you need to get waxed. I would normally recommend that you wax a couple of days before carnival, but just in case you have any last minute things that you need to tend to on your body, you should do that as soon as you get up in the morning so that you're not rushing and you don't feel stressed by this. Then for the ladies, it's time to get their makeup done. Makeup usually takes between an hour and a half to get done. Sometimes if you're going to a hub, it might take even an hour to 2 hours just to get into your seat. Now let me tell you this, even if you have a reservation, I'm telling you, on carnival day, things will be delayed. And I have had instances where I've paid my money, scheduled my appointment, and I am not in that makeup chair until almost 2 hours after the appointed time. But anyway, even if that happens, you can't allow it to block your vibes. You can't let those things stress you out, because you don't spend your money on your carnival costume and it is not cheap. So you can't let that little thing, like just waiting to get your makeup done, affect the rest of your day where you do not enjoy carnival. So fine, you get your makeup done. Make sure you're hydrating yourself throughout. If you're a tea person, I'd recommend that you have a cup of tea in the morning, because when you're on the road, you're not gonna be having any of that. Make sure that you have comfortable shoes. Now, a lot of people have been moving away from purchasing boots to purchasing sneakers, like the glitter sneakers. It's a nice look. I'm thinking of doing that this year. I've always worn boots to carnival, and I'm thinking of getting a pair of glitter sneakers this year. But whether you choose boots or sneakers, I would recommend that you try your shoes a couple days at least before carnival, so that you can make sure that it's comfortable. Your feet shouldn't be squeezing in the shoe, because you're going to be walking down the road, and although you're supposed to be chipping, you shouldn't be chipping because your toe are bunny. You understand? Anyway, so make sure that you are wearing a comfortable pair of heels. Make sure you're wearing a comfortable pair of shoes. No heels. If you're gonna be one of the girls to take pictures in your heels, do that before you go on the road. But no heels on the road. I'm sorry, I don't like to see when the ladies are in their heels and you're not dancing. It's all about having the perfect look. To me, carnival is about the vibes, it's about the fun, it's about the fellowship with each other on the road. I don't care about heels. I want to dance and get on in a very sophisticated way, Anyway, so you want to ensure that your shoes are very comfortable. I like to wear stockings with my costume. So you want to purchase your stockings in advance to make sure that they're flesh colored. The aim is not to look like you're wearing stockings, but to have on stockings just to protect yourself in case there's any shifting in your costume. Definitely, this may be TMI, but definitely wear underwear. Don't just go in your bare costume. Things happen. Strings can pop, and you do not want to find yourself being on the road and your entire you know what is being exposed for the world to see. So you should ensure that you are properly protected underneath your costume. In terms of the bra, the bikini top as some might call it, you want to check that as well. Make sure that it's properly fitted, because you might also have an accident on the road if it is too loose. So you may have a slip if it is that there is too much space in the bra itself, in the cup. So make sure you try on your costume at least a couple days before. Try it on again in the morning, especially when you are starting to get ready. You want to put it on, make sure you're comfortable, tie your straps, move around in it a little bit in your home before you go out on the road. So in terms of costumes, you might be wondering, how long before jump up day do you get your costume? So usually distribution starts about 5 days before Carnival Sunday. So it depends on which band you are in. That will determine when it is that you will receive your costume. So the truth is, you might be in a band, or a group I should say, where you don't get your costume until a day or two before Carnival. That's just how it is. So if you have any alterations, you need to make sure that you have a seamstress on speed dial who you can call. There are some designers who are very accommodating. The last time I jumped Carnival, the person who designed my costume, there was an issue. She gave me her number. I was worried because it was into Saturday night. I was going to be meeting up with her, and Carnival was the next day. But she met up with me. She fixed the issue, and she said if I had any other problem, I could call her. In fact, I'm going to be jumping with her group this year again because of the experience I had on the last time. So you see, good customer service pays off. Another thing you should remember is that when you're styling your hair, you should ensure that you don't wear too tight a hairstyle, because you can get some really bad headaches, especially if you're going to have a headpiece on. It might be a crown, or it might be some other fandangle. You don't want to be thinking about your headache to say, oh my gosh, my head is hurting me, I can't focus on the day. Make sure it's a style that, yes, goes with the look, the image that you have in your head, but also you're comfortable in. Remember, comfort is number one on the road, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to have fun, trust me. Other thing I would say, after you get your makeup done and you put on your costume and your face is done, make sure you take your pictures at the beginning. Trust me, the whole day can go and you swear that you take about 50 million pictures with you and your friend, but you're having so much fun. At the end of the day, you realize that you only got 1 or 2 pictures of yourself on the road. So put aside about half an hour before you actually start the parade, where you can get some nice shots of yourself in your costume. Remember, you pay a lot of money in it, so you want to document your look on Carnival Day. So I would definitely recommend that you take some nice pictures with you and your girlfriends. Take some pictures by yourself. All right. Also, you should know where your band is starting from. When you pick up your costume, you'll get a bag that normally has some little tokens. So for example, you might get a mug, you might get a hat, a t-shirt. I'm just telling you things that I've received in the past. But what you'll also get is a route for Jump Up Day. Even if you don't get it in that bag, in your goodie bag, you can also log on to the Instagram page of the respective band to see what the route is. Why is that important? Because as I said, things can go wrong or will go wrong on Carnival Day. So you might not get the opportunity to start with your band. So you should have an idea where it is that they will be walking, so that if you have to join the band at a later stage in the day, you're able to find your fellow revelers. Trust me, it has happened before where my best friend and I had to end up meeting the group somewhere far from where they started, but we knew what the route was, so we weren't panicked. And there are also shuttles that are going to be on the road for the respective band, and they will take you. So you need to know where the shuttles are picking persons up as well. So that's very important. So So make sure you plan for the day, know where everything is going to be. They usually offer a little breakfast. I've actually never had the breakfast because I guess I've never been there early enough for the breakfast. And then you're gonna have your lunch stop, and then you're going to have, after the road march, you have dinner or a little party. I've never actually done dinner or the party at the end because, as I say, when I'm going on the road for Carnival, I have fun. So at the end of the day, I'm spent, like, I'm not interested in any more parties. Time for me to go back into my shell, my professional shell, and put on my suit the next day. So I need to be energized because the next day is a work day. So I don't go straight into night in terms of partying. You should also take note of special guest artists who might be on the road. So sometimes the bands will let us know, like the week of Carnival, who's going to be performing on the road, which truck they're going to be on. And if you want to see that soca artist, you need to ensure that you are by the truck at the time. I'm telling you, I have done Carnival where I'm not seeing those performances because I'm in my vibe and I'm not even paying attention. But then there are other times where sometimes they might be walking through the crowd and you can have a lovely picture with them. I remember one year I got to meet Kes. He was just walking on the road with us and I was there having a conversation with him, and I'm like, I'm at Carnival and I'm having a conversation with Kes. He was so gracious, he really was. I've seen other soca artists and they were not as friendly as how they appear on television or on stage. But Kes was really, really a lovely person. And he indulged us. We chatted with him for a few seconds and he kept it moving and we kept it moving. So that was a really good experience. Also, you should ensure that you have something to hold your phone. So don't just rely on your hand. You can drop your phone and moving with the parade and not realize that you no longer have it in your possession. So be very mindful of that. So that brings me to my next point. Hey! Stop! So that brings me to my next point, security. Security is very, very important. When you're on the road, there'll be ropes along the way to keep out persons who are not actually a part of the Carnival group. But the truth is, sometimes people get under those ropes. So you have to look out for yourself and for your girlfriends. Not everybody you must whine with. You have to be very careful and mindful of the persons who are around you. Be very vigilant when you're on the road. Have fun, drink responsibly, because you need to have your head on straight so that you can say, oh, okay, or I should say, so you can identify, you can recognize if you are in a dangerous or potentially dangerous situation. Also, you should have a little money on you, not too much, but have a little money in case of emergencies. As I said, anything can happen on Carnival Day, and you might need to go and take a taxi, or you need to buy something at a pharmacy when you're passing with your group, and you just have to leave the parade for a quick second and get something in a pharmacy. You don't know. I remember one year I jumped and I ended up getting a sinus infection, a really bad sinus infection the night before, and I ended up being in the ambulance for parts of Carnival. But I got a little treatment, took some pills, and I was able to get back on the road. But that's just it. You don't know what condition you might be on the day, so you need to be prepared. Also, you might need to carry feminine products if it's that time of the month. And whenever there is a rest stop, you, of course, you go and you take care of yourself. Do not leave anything to chance. Now, if you have a weak bladder, you need to be careful about your liquid consumption. Remember, you're on the road. You're chipping down the road. You're not going to have time every few minutes to go and use the bathroom. Like, that will block your vibes. So if you use the bathroom a lot, just sip slowly as you are moving along the road. All right, and just try and see if you can use the bathroom at particular stages. So like right before you put on your costume, when you're at the lunch stop, and at the end of Carnival. You can try and break it up in that way. I don't like using public bathrooms, so I am very careful about how much I drink. I'm not a big drinker. Most times when I'm on the road, I'm having water. I'm a weak fence in terms of alcohol, so I don't really have to worry about using the bathroom. And as I say, I don't want anything blocking my vibes because I'm there to get the best of the day. So I don't want to miss anything. I'm just there on the road having fun. But if you are someone where you have to stop every couple of hours to use the bathroom, as I said, pace yourself when you are drinking. Well, I think that's it. Those are my few tips. If there's anything else I can think of, I'll do a part 2 to this video. I hope this is very helpful. I can't wait to have my Jamaicans in Jamaica celebrating with me. Carnival is just a couple, well, not a couple, but several weeks away, but time is moving very quickly. I'm trying to exercise, and every minute I'm having ice cream, chocolate, just everything that's bad. So I don't really know if I'm going to do well in that regard, but I hope to be very healthy on the day so that I can dance and celebrate. And which song you're really cheering for this carnival? Like for me, I love Carnival Come Back Home. I don't think that's how they sounded in the song, but that's my favorite song right now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to dancing to that song. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, this has been Liming with Courtney.